Hello friends, and welcome back to my channel. And today I have a video that no one requested and one I didn't actually think I would ever do, but here we are. And that is kind of like an ebook haul slash what is on my Kindle. I have had a Kindle for a while and I kind of fluctuate in between reading physical books and reading ebooks, but lately ebooks have been my friend because they're easier, honestly, and significantly cheaper usually, especially this time of year, like around Christmas and things like that. There have been some killer ebook deals, and I've been getting a lot of books for like 99 cents, $1.99, and they're pretty big titles. I do like to get books secondhand and at consignment shops and things like that, but as of late I have not been going out to those places, so ebooks have been a way for me to get books cheap without spending, a lot of money, which is why I said cheap, and without having to actually leave and go somewhere. So yeah, without further ado, these are the books that I have on my Kindle and subsequently on my TBR, and most of these are books that I have acquired recently. So without further ado, let's get into it. So the first book is the one I am currently reading for the readathon that Allie is hosting. I will leave her channel below. You should check her out. She is amazing. But that is The Baron the Nightingale by Catherine Arden. This takes place in Russia, set in the winter, so it is very atmospheric and it involves Russian folklore and fairy tales, and that is really all I know about it so far. I am only like on chapter 3, so I'm not really into the plot yet. But so far I really like the writing, although the names are kind of confusing me, especially because everyone has like 5 nicknames, but I'm getting through it and I'm really enjoying it. It's very atmospheric and perfect for winter. So the next book is one I literally bought last night, and it is The Afterlife of Holly Chase by Cynthia Hand. So this book is one I've kind of seen a little bit of buzz about on BookTube. I believe it is a retelling of A Christmas Carol. That's the one that has the Scrooge in it, right? I don't know. So I don't really know much about it other than it's a retelling and everyone seems to love it, but it was $1.99 and I can't resist a good deal, you guys. I just can't. So as you might have seen in my previous video, I've been talking about reading historical romance, and one name that has been popping up a lot in recommendation videos is Tessa Dare. So I decided to pick up the Duchess Steel by her. I've heard this one recommended a few times, so I decided to see what all the hype is about with this author. I don't really know anything about this book other than a historical romance, so I'm looking forward to it. This next one is one I've actually read, so I guess it's not considered a TBR ebook, and that is A Lady's Vanishing Choices by Maurice Woodson. This has a creepy title, but it is actually because it is a marriage of convenience. It's about, I read this entire book. You would think I'd be able to give a synopsis of it, but apparently not, other than it follows this girl who is kind of like quirky, not like other girls, but not in the way that she that's her only personality. That's kind of how everyone else perceives her. So basically she sees and witnesses someone burying what she thinks is a body, and she flees the scene and ends up running into this guy, literally, like they almost have an accident on their horse and carriages, and it just kind of spirals from there. She ends up having, like I said, to enter a marriage of convenience to protect herself because a lot of shenanigans have ensued. It's good. It's not the most unique thing in the world, and the writing isn't spectacular, but I read almost all of this in one day, so it is very quick to get through, and I enjoyed it. So this next one is one that I'm gonna kind of breeze over just because I don't feel like going in depth about it, but is one my therapist recommended to me called I Hate You, Don't Leave Me, which is a book all about borderline personality disorder, which is something ya girl has been diagnosed with. So I've been reading this kind of slowly but surely. It's good, but it's kind of hard for me to read a lot of it at once because it's hard to take a deep look at yourself. But this next one is one that's not self-help, and that is Everless by Sarah Holland. Everless, right? Yeah. I have heard pretty good things about this book. It is a fantasy book that I believe time or life is considered a currency. For example, if you have 2 people, one can take the time from another, so they can live a lot longer than the person who the time was taken from, I believe. So this ends up causing quite a big class difference. The rich can obviously afford a lot more time and I believe they take it from the poor. I could be wrong, but either way, the rich are living way past the normal lifespan and the poor are not living nearly as long. I don't really know anything beyond that, but the premise was cool and it was like 99 cents, so obviously I had to get it. So this next one is called, I don't know if you guys have heard of it, but it is A Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo. I think this is a pretty obscure book. Okay, obviously it's not. It is really big on BookTube, but I wanted to read the Six of Crows duology, but my brain was like, no, you can't read it until you read the original trilogy. Even though I know they're two separate things, I was like, nope, you can't read it. So I found Shadow and Bone for really cheap on Kindle. I say found, but like they were advertising it. Either way, I got it really cheap, so I was like, I guess I'm gonna start this series so I can finally see what the hype is about, both for this trilogy and the Six of Crows duology. So yeah, I don't know when I'm gonna get to this, but hopefully soon. This next one is The Black Witch by Laurie Forrest. Don't know anything about this, I just know it was hyped and cheap. This next one is one that my husband recommended by Tom Piccirilli. It's A Choir of Ill Children. I started reading this, but that was kind of before my depression hit, so I stopped reading it. I'm gonna probably have to start from the beginning because I only got like 5% in. It's weird. That's all I know is about like a really odd family and weird horror shenanigans ensue. I don't know if shenanigans is the right word to use there, but it's the one I'm using. So we'll see how this book is. I don't have expectations because I don't know what this book is gonna be like. So the next two are nonfiction, and that is The Roman Empire, which is literally just a book on the Roman Empire, and The Geek Feminist Revolution by Cameron Hurley. I don't really know much about these other than I think the Roman Empire was free, and then the Geek Feminist Revolution was really cheap. I really hope that's not a book that's like, I'm better than you because I'm geeky, or I'm not like other girls. If you've read it and it's that way, let me know so I can save myself some time. But like, I like nerdy things. I'm a pretty nerdy girl, so I like to read about nerdy things, but I don't think of myself as better than someone who doesn't like play video games or whatever. So we'll see how this book goes. So I'm gonna have A Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. I am actually like 40% in this book. I hope to pick it back up again. Once again, I stopped reading, so I'm hoping that I can just kind of hop back into the story versus having to start again from the beginning. I remember a fair amount about it, but yeah, it's like a retelling of Achilles' story, and it's good. That's all I remember. The writing is really good. And then I got The Female of the Species by Mindy McGinnis. I can't speak. This is a story about, or I think it's a contemporary, which is something I don't typically read, about a girl whose sister gets raped and then murdered, I think. So she seeks out to kill the rapist. I don't know if her sister actually gets murdered, but either way, she seeks vengeance and tries to kill the rapist, and it talks about rape culture. I've heard fairly mixed things about it. Some people really like it, some people really hate it, so I'm very interested to see where I kind of fall on that spectrum. Then here's another book that I think might be obscure, and that is This Savage Song by Victoria Schwab. So I've read A Darker Shade of Magic and whatever the second one is, and I enjoyed her writing. I didn't necessarily enjoy that story, which is why I have not read the last one. The first book was good. Second book was very disappointing to me. So I'm willing to give more of her books a try. I really want to read Vicious as well, but I just don't know when I'm gonna get to this because I was just so kind of burnt or turned off with her Shades of Magic series. I have A Study in Charlotte by Brittany Cavallero, which I believe is just a kind of Sherlock retelling. Am I right? Am I wrong? I don't know. I've heard really good things about this. Rocky just like absolutely adores this book and this series and these characters. So I need to read it to see if it actually lives up to the hype that she just like spews for this book, because I respect her opinions on books, and if she says it's good, I'm sure it is. Then another nonfiction book is Egyptian Mythology, which is literally just a book on Egyptian mythology, and your girl likes Egyptian mythology. So put two and two together, I'm sure I'm gonna love this book. Now I get into some kind of random ones. The City of Brass by S.A. Chakraborty. I think that's S.A. I don't know the little check marks covering it. I don't really know much about this book other than it's fantasy and everyone loves it. Then I have Rachel Carson's Silent Spring, which is a book, I believe it's nonfiction, and it was the start of like the environmentalist movement. I've got The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood. I don't really need to go into detail about this one. You guys know what it is, but I have not read it before. I've got The Lost Hero and the first Magnus Chase book, The Gods of Asgard by Rick Riordan. I really am looking forward to starting both of these. I think I'm gonna end up starting The Gods of Asgard first, just because I haven't finished the original Percy Jackson series, so I can't hop into The Lost Hero yet. Let's see. Then I have Hunted by Megan Spooner, which I actually have already read. It's kind of like a Beauty and the Beast retelling. It was alright. I've got Alex and Me by, I think that's Renee M. Pepperberg, which is the story of that parrot who learned to talk more than like any other parrot has. I believe when it died, like right before it died, it told its owner, "Be good. I love you." I know this book's gonna make me cry, so I've put off reading it, but I'm looking forward to it eventually. I've got Graceling by Kristen Kishore. This is like a, I don't know, one of the most typical or one of the most hyped long-term hype. I don't know what I'm trying to even say. It's one of the most like popular books on BookTube. I don't know. That's not even right. I feel like everyone has read this book is basically what I'm trying to say. And I have not. Big surprise. So I found it really cheap, so we'll see how I feel about it. I've got Bird Box by Josh Malerman, which they're apparently making a movie of and it's coming out on the 21st on Netflix, but like I don't know how well that's gonna work as a movie, considering the entire plot of this book is that the characters can't see, and so you pretty much only have what they feel and what they think is going on around them, but you actually being able to see as the viewer. I just don't know how that's gonna work, but either way, I'm looking forward to it. Let's see. I've got The Diviners by Libba Bray. Didn't like it. Sorry. I've got I've got The Last Wish by I don't remember how to pronounce his name, but it's the first of the Witcher series, like the prequels. Adored it. I've got The Black Prison by Brent Weeks. Yeah, Weeks. I know this is a fantasy novel that in this world powers or magic is based on the light spectrum, which sounds really interesting and very unique. I look forward to reading it. It's just very long. I've got The Assassin's Blade by Miss Sarah J. Maas. I don't think I'll ever read this, but I have it just in case. I've got It by Stephen King. I really wanted to reread this book. I got about 28% in. I've read it before, so it's something I can just kind of pick up and put down as I want, but I did not feel like reading the ginormous hardcover I have of it because my arms are weak. I have all of the Lord of the Rings by J.R.R. Tolkien. I don't know when I'm gonna get to those, if I'm ever gonna get to them, but I have them. And that is it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. This was, it became less of a haul and more of a, this is what's on my Kindle, but like 90% of these books I've gotten in the last couple weeks. So I guess it is a haul. I don't know. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see all of you guys in my next video.